Just waiting for some food here to be made so I can pick it up. So yeah, I gave a couple little meetings and talks lately about getting a job and stuff like that, especially in the tech industry. And it seems like nobody can get a job these days. It's like people just sending out 100 applications, 300 applications, and nobody answers it, or they just get instantly rejected, or they might get like one interview and then get rejected from that. And yeah, I don't really know. I think there's a lot of factors causing that. I think here's the main point of this video is that I think just sending in applications is not really a good way to do it anymore. But you should still just always keep doing it. Always just kind of automatically be sending out applications, but don't rely on it. Like, don't think, this is your main way of getting a job, because I think it's just a crapshoot. Because there's so many applicants now, just people applying like from all over the internet, probably thousands of applications. So they're just rejecting a lot of those like automatically and barely even considering it. So it doesn't really matter how much time you like spend on your cover letter or whatever. The real thing you got to get to is the interview. So what has worked for me for like the past 4 or 5 roles, it's basically just from people I know or in my network, and not in like a cheesy networking way. Like going to a networking event or whatever, but just like people I've worked with, or people I'm friends with, or people I know somebody knows somebody or whatever, or things I'm involved with, like the startup community. And that's been a lifesaver for me for getting roles. And it really just comes down to talking to people and making actual connections. Like I got a couple jobs recently, or I got my last job just from reaching out to somebody who I thought was doing something cool. They raised a bunch of money for their startup. I saw a post about it. Had talked to them 1 or 2 times before, just casually. I just messaged them, just asking them how they did it and like what they're working on and what worked for them. So if possible, this doesn't work in all industries, doesn't work for all people, I guess, but if you can separate it from like, I'm applying to jobs and I'm going to interview for jobs, like try to break out of that cycle and find like the third door, the secret way to get in. And oftentimes it's not a given. Like, it's not like you're just getting a job just cause you know somebody. It's not like a nepotism thing. It's like accelerating yourself through the process. Like, if a company's really likes you, or a guy that's doing the hiring, or the CEO or whatever really likes you, and thinks they want you in the company, you just kind of accelerated past this whole application screening thing. That's like the worst way that companies want to get people. It's totally untrusted, unvalidated, random people applying. So that's not ideal. Most companies, they have like referral programs. That's one way. They want high confidence referrals, or people that they know, or people that are proven to already be doing cool stuff. Yeah. Because they don't want to waste time. Recruiting takes a lot of time, and it's actually it's from the employer perspective, it's very difficult for them to hire good, talented people. That's honestly how they're looking at it. Like, they're having a hard time finding talented people, even though they're having all these resumes or whatever sent to them. Most of those are just not what they're looking for. So yeah, if you can make some connections, talk to people, reach out to people randomly. Like, don't be afraid to randomly message people. CEO, co-founder, lead developers, whatever, that you think are doing cool stuff. You like what the company's doing. You think their background is really interesting. Because most times you'll be able to just chat with them, and worst case scenario, nothing really happens or whatever. You just nothing really comes from it. Middle case scenario, average scenario, you don't get a job from it, but like, you kind of meet that person, you hit it off, and you kind of start talking to them every once in a while, maybe a couple times a year, checking in. But you're moving yourself up in their minds. So when something does come around, they'll think, oh, that guy, I remember that guy or that girl. And best case scenario, it turns into a job directly from that. But this is like a million times more likely to get you a job than just submitting 100 job applications, because it's like direct. So yeah, I don't want to ramble on too much, but that's just a point I wanted to make. Yeah, that I think has worked really well for me. Like, I honestly think if I was to go look for another job right now, like, I'd look around and people I know and message people directly and stuff. I might send out a few applications, but they'll probably just all get auto rejected, until I get really lucky, like a lottery ticket, basically. So, yeah, just a quick point I wanted to make on reaching out to people and networking in like the actual way and not the fake cheesy way.